What was the last movie you saw? I usually start off with that.
Does it have to be in the theaters or at home?
No, anything you saw.
Okay.
Last thing you saw, like even
Well-
if you were like getting ready for work.
Okay, last night before I went to bed, I saw the Neverending Story.
Did you really?
Yes, I did.
All right. It was like one of your favorites. Did you choose it? Was it on TV?
No, I actually have it on DVD, and I just thought, I really want to watch this movie again. I don't know what it was about that movie. Well, no, that movie, it came out in, I believe it was 84. I think I was 6 years old. And that was the movie that first got me to really like to read, because I truly believe that all books would come to life the way this did.
Really?
So I just became an avid reader after watching that movie. Yes.
No kidding.
Yes.
Holy shit! What was the first what was the book do you remember the first book you read after it?
Yeah, I used to like poetry books. Do you remember Where the Sidewalk Ends?
Yeah,
and
Shel
things like
Silverstein.
that?
Yeah.
Things like that. I used to like books
Do you write
about...
poetry or just?
I don't. I suck at writing poetry anyway.
Just reading it.
But yeah, I love reading it. I love to see expressive art. I love to see, people's emotions, past, present, future, whatever it is, come out through their art. I love that.
It's really cool. Yeah.
I love that movie. I think this is not a. I think about 2 months ago, I literally had a dream that I was thrown into a dumpster, and that, I swear to God, and that Falcor, was that his name? Falcor,
Yes.
the luck dragon, came out and pulled me out of the dumpster.
That's
And
fantastic.
took me away. That's
only.
a sad dream. Now that I think about it, my psychiatrist is going to have a lot to say
No.
about that.
I was reminiscing. I don't know if you remember back in, I guess it was like the late 80s, early 90s maybe. There used to be a show on USA Network on Fridays and Saturday nights. I think Fridays was Gilbert Godfrey and Saturday was Rhonda Shear.
Up all night.
Up all night.
Up all
Remember
night
that?
with Rhonda Shear. I used to love that stuff.
So did I.
Yeah.
Those movies were so killer. I love
Yeah,
them.
yeah, all that. So that's where I first saw like Frankenhooker and shit
Right.
like that. Yeah, like all that weird stuff. Yeah. Did you ever see
Zombie Chicks from
Frankenhooker?
Chopper Town. Do you remember that?
Yes. Yeah, totally. Well, I saw the other day. That's where that's why I got the idea when I realized that you had a Night of the Creeps.
Yes. That's
T-shirt.
one of my favorite series
Yeah, I do
of all
too.
time.
I do too.
love it.
George, I was talking
I've
about it
never
with
seen
George,
it.
and he hadn't
No.
seen it.
I have it on DVD.
Yeah, you gotta watch
To
it.
watch
Okay.
this movie.
I'll have to
That's what I was gonna. I wanted to talk about it before, and then I was like, no, let's save it for the podcast before I explain
what
it
is
is.
it about? Yeah.
Well, it's that typical story that whole... I enjoyed it because in the very beginning, the whole sorority story with the axe murderer, that typical...
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
love that whole prom night, murderous masquerade,
Like
whatever.
it takes place in the 1950s, right?
Yes.
And then a meteor lands, and like these slugs come out, and they possess the people.
Yeah.
But then, so the movie starts in the 1950s, and then takes place later on, right?
In the 80s.
In the 80s, like
During Pledge Week.
yeah. So like the creatures from the meteor
Yeah.
stay dormant, and they come back out. And Tom Atkins is in it. I don't know if you remember. He's been like in a
he's
bunch
badass.
of B
Yeah.
movies. Yeah, he's fantastic.
Yeah.
He was in my favorite Halloween 3, which nobody likes except for me.
The
I
one
love
with
it.
what's that commercial?
Yeah,
Richard,
yeah.
Richard, Richard.
The
Isn't it
Silver
called
Shamrock?
something else?
Silver Shamrock.
Isn't it called Pumpkinhead?
Halloween 3, Season of the Witch.
Season of
Don't
the
they call
Witch,
it like
yes.
Pumpkinhead or no?
No,
That's a whole
Pumpkinhead's-
other movie.
No, Pumpkinhead's, yeah,
Okay, I'm
Pumpkinhead's
just
the one.
confusing it then.
I think directed by Stan Winston, the special
Oh,
effects
okay.
guy.
What's the song then? Why am I thinking of Pumpkin?
5 more days till Halloween.
There you go,
God, that's
Halloween.
creepy.
Halloween. 5 more days till Halloween.
Yeah.
Silver Shamrock.
Yes,
No, I
that
thought
was a great
yeah.
movie.
Bum, bum, bum. Hurry, kids, get your
That's
Like I've seen
creepy.
that. It's really
Yeah.
fantastic.
I didn't like that they deviated from Michael Myers, but I did enjoy the movie in itself.
Yeah,
I think they should
that's
just
why I
made it
thought-
independently.
Yeah,
on
that's
its
why.
own.
That's why I thought it was a different.
Yeah, because
movie.
it was. I think what they were going to do was they were going to make like a different Halloween movie type based, like every movie. They're like, all right, these first 2 will be about Michael Myers, and then every one will be a different Halloween themed movie.
Yeah.
And then they just completely did something different. But Tom Atkins is in it.
Yeah.
I loved it, and I know people like hate it, and they hate me for hating, but for loving it. But I really loved it. I thought it was so bizarre.
Yeah, it is.
That it was great. And the kids put on the mask, and their heads melt, and worms
Yeah,
come
yeah,
out.
yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's just disgusting.
It's really disgusting. But Tom Atkins, he's got like a bunch of fucking great lines in that movie that are so ridiculous. Like he's looking out the window in one of them, and I think like he's like, "Good news, your dates are here."
Yes,
Yeah.
that's my favorite part.
Bad news, they're all dead. And they even like do like Mad Max, like the guy's eyeballs like bulge out before they die. That's from Mad Max. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But it's really, really great, and so that's why I was
Yeah.
like, hey, maybe I was like a movie person.
Yeah.
I really wish I could find some type of well, maybe I'm sure they're out there like a website or whatever where you could, order those old B movies.
Oh, yeah.
Which is
Yeah,
great,
there is.
right?
I'll send you the link.
Yes, please.
It's called Shout Factory, and they do a
Shout Factory.
fantastic
Oh.
job.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, they put out old stuff.
Yeah, they
or
put out
something.
all that
Yeah,
old
yeah.
stuff. Yeah, or like cult stuff.
Uh-huh.
Like even if it's not that old, like the one of the ones that I was excited about was Death Becomes Her.
I fucking love that movie.
Yeah,
It's a
I
great
do.
movie.
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
put out their version of that.
So you like horror movies?
That's
Is
that's
that
my
your favorite?
genre. That's
Yeah?
my go-to. Yes.
Which one's your favorite?
My favorite. That's a tough question to ask.
Like Sophie's Choice. Which
yeah.
child do I give up?
Yeah, that's just
Which
too
ones
much.
are your favorites?
I would have marathons at my house
Yeah?
for Halloween, and I love horror movies, and the cheesier the better. I really don't care.
Yeah,
It
that's
really
true.
doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
They're typically all the same, but I mean, actually, the last horror movie that was actually it actually creeped
Yeah.
me out. Was oh my gosh, what is it? The one with the nun, the most recent one that was out in the theaters.
Oh, The Conjuring,
The Conjuring
2?
Yes, I was like,
I
that
love
was
the first
creepy.
one. I haven't seen the second one. I want to.
Yeah, that
It's
one actually
creepy?
creeped me out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
I like the first Conjuring too.
Yeah, it's great.
I think the thing that I liked about it too was that they remembered to make the family likable.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
So I was genuinely
Yeah.
concerned and worried
I
for what
know.
happened for them. Whereas in other horror movies, you're like, let them fucking die.
Oh my god, I hope the kids get killed.
Like that kid who's in I hope he goes first.
I know.
Well, that's the fucking great thing about that movie that I love so much. Was Let the Right One In?
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
Yeah, yeah,
No, I
yeah.
haven't. Is that recent?
Oh my, you need to see that.
I think I
Right
saw
One
the
There's
one,
the Danish version or
yeah,
the-
yeah,
yeah,
I saw
whatever.
that one. But I didn't
Swedish
see the
version.
remake one. Yeah.
What's that about?
Finlandic version.
It's like it's a vampire, right?
It's about a vampire. Yeah. I won't say any more than that
Okay.
because anything we say will give away. But you
Really?
really, oh my gosh, yeah, you've got to totally watch it. It's a subtitled movie.
Yeah, I don't remember.
And there's an
but
American
it's good.
remake.
Yeah.
Let Me In, I think, is the American remake. But watch
Okay.
the original version.
Yeah.
And the only thing I'll tell you is what I was going to say without trying to give away, but it makes you root for kids to be killed.
Really awesome.
Like you're like, I cannot wait for this kid to be fucking
I
killed.
think
Like
that
I
was
want him
most
to be
of my
killed.
childhood watching these movies. I was like, please take that kid out. Oh,
Yeah.
so annoying.
But it's brilliant because it's like a legitimately makes you
Yeah.
like, I can't wait for that kid to fucking
I
die.
saw that. So I saw that the original one. It was a double feature. I saw that like at UTEP or something. The second movie was Thirst. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't.
No,
Have you
I
seen
haven't.
Thirst?
It's like the Iranian.
So no. It's Korean. It's a Korean movie, and it's a vampire story, right? But it's this director, Chan-wook Park. It's his version of Twilight during the time that it came out. That's when that movie came out. But it's his like fucked up version of it.
Awesome.
Yeah, and the main guy is like a priest, and this one girl's like begging him to be like, I guess that's the story in Twilight, that she wants to become
Yes.
right or something. So that she wants to become a vampire too, but he doesn't want to because he knows it's shitty and it's not
It's
cool.
shitty.
Yeah, but eventually he does, and then now it's his burden to like kind of like calm her down because she's a crazy motherfucker.
thirsty.
Yeah, and she's like, he's trying to just give her like animals and stuff,
Yeah.
but like no, she wants to go all out. She wants to have fun. But so the story's just between them two, but like he kind of has to keep her.
At bay. huh?
Yeah, like because he felt like he feels responsible because he's the one that kind of created.
Did it?
Yeah, it's awesome. It's so cool. Do you like foreign horror stuff?
I mean, I'll watch anything that's good.
Yeah. Is there anything that sticks out or no?
I'm trying to think of the last foreign film that was really good that I watched, and I know it was at my mom's house.
Doesn't have
but
to be
my
horror
mom's-
either.
Yeah.
My mom actually likes foreign films, but
Yeah.
I can't remember.
The Japanese had that had a thing with the girl with black hair
Oh,
thing,
yeah, that
right?
ring
There's like
thing.
a lot of what was it?
But that's like
The Ring,
become a
yeah.
real phenomenon, right?
Yeah,
that
yeah, that was
people
like a
swear to God. Yeah, like that. Like kids are knocking on people's doors with like little black eyes.
Oh, hell
Like
no.
that's like it's permeated into the modern culture.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
not real.
Yeah.
It's- Do you? Well, let me ask you that. Do you believe in ghosts?
I
Legitimately?
do actually.
You do really?
I do, and I'm very, I'm a very objective person. I like to see things before I believe them. I like to,
Yeah.
investigate and research and things like that.
Yeah.
But once you've had a moment where you kind of question your own sanity because you saw something that you shouldn't have seen, or you
So-
felt something.
So did you? Or?
Yeah, and that at that point, that's kind of when I was like, okay, the self-doubt creeps in, but it when somebody else confirms it that had no idea what was going on, then you kind of realize that, okay, it wasn't just me, and maybe I should be a little open to this stuff.
Yeah.
My house was built in 1939, so give me a break,
Do you have like a story you want to share, maybe?
Well,
Can
sure. So it started really, really slowly at first. It was very strange.
This is when you were like younger?
No. It's actually I bought this house in 2006.
So it was recently.
Probably about 2 years ago.
2 years.
Really?
Ago.
So it was so this was the moment that kind of turned.
Yeah.
Really?
And it was really, really strange because I was living alone at the time. And I was watching Jay Leno, or whoever was on the Tonight Show at that time. Who was it? Jimmy Fallon, right?
Yeah, Jimmy Fallon.
Okay.
Yeah, 2006.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So it was that 5 minutes.
Johnny Carson. No, wait a minute.
I still watch Carson.
No.
Steve Allen. Yeah, you're gonna go on.
So this loud bang, like I swear somebody just hits the wall with a baseball bat or something. It literally caused me to jump.
Yeah.
I had the remote on my chest. It flew off. I was like, what in the world was that? So I kind of I knew where the sound came from, and it was from the closet across from my bed. So I get up and I open it, and everything's intact and nothing's going on. So I'm like, that was really weird. So again, it's not a big deal. I ignore it. So then in the next few weeks, little things were going on. And at first I thought I was kind of stressed out because I had just started graduate school.
Okay.
You know how that goes, right?
Yeah.
So I was misplacing my keys. I could not find them. And I have a hook right when I walk into the door. I hang my keys up. No big deal, right? Misplacing my keys and then finding them in the weirdest spots, like under the couch or literally once I found it behind, not behind my dryer, but kind of like close to the back of it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how in the world would it have gotten there? I have no idea.
Behind it?
Yeah, it was really, really weird. So again, I was just ignoring it. So then one night, I'm laying in my bathtub just chilling out, right? And I have the bathroom doors open, and I hear my front door open. And this is the summertime, so the air conditioner's going, so you kind of hear the suction of the door open, So at first I was kind of weirded out because I had just gone off the phone with my ex-boyfriend, or my boyfriend at the time, and I didn't think he was going to come over until, the following day or whatnot, but I figured it was him. Who else would be walking in my door, right? Yeah. But then after a few seconds of silence and weirdness, I kind of froze. I didn't want to move because I didn't want the water to swish back and forth, And I'm sitting there thinking in those 30 seconds, like, what a way to go, like naked, like such a stripper way to die, right? Like, this is so fucked up, right? So I'm like, what am I going to do? And I'm looking around because I have hardwood floors. So I've got a rug and then wood floors. So if somebody's going to walk in, you're going to, hear the door open, you're going to hear silence, and then you're going to hear steps on the wood floors. I heard nothing. So finally I made the choice to get up right away and slam the door closed and put my clothes on and then kind of just listen, and nothing. So I get up, I kind of, open the door slowly, turn on all the lights, walk around the house. The house isn't huge. There's nothing. So I go and I lock the front door, I deadbolt it, and I lock the screen door. So then I decide that I'm going to go ahead and just pack a bag and head to my boyfriend's house for the night because I'm a little creeped out, right?
Yeah.
So I go into my bedroom and I get my stuff, and again I hear the door open, and I'm like, what in the world was that? So I look over, and sure enough, the door's open. I go and I check
having locked it.
After having deadbolted it, and then I check the screen door, and that's open as well. And I'm like thinking, this is weird, right? So by this time, I just go and I grab my backpack. I'm in the living room. I'm throwing stuff in there, and I've got French doors. Well, when the French door is open, the glass partitions, you can kind of glare into my bedroom. Well, I shit you not. I'm putting stuff in my bag, and I look up, and there's a full-blown shadow of a person in my bedroom. Yeah. And I just grabbed
in your bedroom?
In my bedroom. Like, I didn't even wait to see what the hell it was. All I saw was the shape. It was tall, it was dark, it was not handsome, and I just grabbed my backpack and I took off. I was like,
so you saw a person, or
I
just
saw
like
the shadow of a person. So I left, and I go to my boyfriend's house, and he was like, the self-doubt started to creep in, and he's like, oh, you're just stressed out, and I'm like, in my head I'm thinking, I know what I saw.
Sure.
So whatever, a couple of weeks go by. During this time, my grandfather had passed away, and my aunts come into town. Well, I let them stay at my house, while we're all preparing for the funeral and stuff. So I go and I stay at my boyfriend's house. So the day before the funeral, my aunt and I go shopping, and we're in her car, and she tells me, I have something to tell you, but I don't want you to get scared.
Oh God. That's the worst.
I swear I jumped for joy.
Really?
I jumped for joy because I said, no, please tell me, because you just confirmed. I wasn't going to tell them anything while they stayed there. I didn't want to
You're like,
scare them.
just let you know, there's a ghost. Thanks for coming over, and
but
it's
the
probably going
fact-
to eat you.
The fact that they saw something, they saw the same thing, they heard other things, the remote control was in weird places. I mean, it was fucking with them too.
Yeah.
So I thought, wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
So
And it's like an old place you used to live at, or it's the
I
same?
know
Yeah,
it's the
she
same
said
place.
It's the same
It's the
place.
same
Okay,
place.
well.
Yeah. But believe it or not, like I said, I'm not that
But
person that's
that was
like,
the last time it happened. It hasn't happened.
well, my
so
mom
much.
is very knowledgeable about stuff like that. We'll just say that. And she came in with her sage
Yeah.
and dusted off my house and literally nothing since then. And then
Yeah.
I got a cat a few months later and nothing since
it.
then.
So she scared it away.
I guess.
Like a limpiada, right?
Yeah.
Cleansing.
I'm like, I don't care. Do whatever it is you're going to do.
Yeah.
Just make it go away because
Wow.
I can't take this anymore. Yeah, it was starting to creep me out.
Although it seems like the kind of story that I tell my, that I used to tell my ex-girlfriend to be like, there's a ghost in my apartment, babe. I got to go over. Like it's
That's the way you get there, huh? I know.
like it's going to kill me. I need to go over as quick as possible.
Yeah, it's just creepy. And then you kind of feel it. You know what I mean?
Do you ever do like research? Because my sister-in-law is all about that too. Like
Mm-hmm.
she grew up in a house like that, and she said that there's like somebody. She sent somebody to investigate or something like that. Do you ever get into all that?
I never did research on my house because, to be honest with you, I have 5 years left on my mortgage, so I don't want to know if something shitty happened in my house. I want to be
You'd rather not
comfortable.
know?
Well, wait, but the realtor has it. Now here comes the. I'm a skeptic. I don't believe in any ghosts. I'm like, sure.
Perfect.
Not that I
Yeah,
by
yeah.
any means
No,
dismiss your
no,
story,
no, of course.
but like for me, like that's thinking. Well, the realtor would have had to have told you. Like, see the logical side of me. It's
Yeah.
like,
Right.
the realtor would have had to have told you if there was a
Uh-huh.
murder. Otherwise, you should
Exactly.
find out and then get like a heck of a discount that they didn't tell you.
Yeah, they
Be
usually
like,
do
"You
though, right?
lied
Don't they
to
tell
me."
you?
They have to by law.
Right.
Yeah, they have to
So-
tell you by law if somebody died.
Ugh. Yeah, I really don't care to know what.
Or that they were lying that it wasn't built in whatever year you said it was. It was like, that's
I
built like
know.
6 weeks ago, but we don't
Right.
have that. Yeah, but we wanted to sell it. Holy shit!
know.
Yeah, that would have scared me too.
But I'm very comfortable in my home. I like
So you're good.
my. I live in Manhattan
Yeah.
Heights. It's comfortable. It's
Yeah.
it's got charm.
Yeah. So you're not scared anymore.
No,
You're good.
and even then, I really wasn't even scared until I saw that image.
It was just that one
image
time
because
and that one image.
Yeah, because I could
Okay.
hear things and I smelled a few scents.
Yeah.
Sweet scents.
Yeah.
And it wasn't me.
Well, but that's good though.
That's what I heard.
Yeah,
right?
sweet sense is a good
It's
omen
a good,
as
right?
opposed to
Okay, yeah.
That's
So,
too bad
but it
sense.
wasn't until I saw a figure that was much bigger than me
Yeah.
that reality hit, where I'm like, oh hell no, fake, real, I don't give a fuck. That thing could hurt me.
Yeah.
And you didn't
So-
turn around to take a look and see if there was anything.
I was not about to.
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
I
no,
just
I
saw that,
understand
and
that.
that was enough, and I out.
You're stronger than I would have just cried. I would have rolled up in the fetal position and been like,
Well, honestly, I don't know,
away.
right? I don't know what would have happened if that would have been in front of me. Like if I would have been in the bedroom. Considering that I was, 2 seconds from the door, I think that was just an instinctual movement to get the hell out of there.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
but then also you kind of get pissed off, right? Because you're like, oh hell no, like this is my house,
Yeah.
like. So
Yeah.
after a few days away, you grow some still balls and you go back
Yeah.
and you're like, I don't think so with my sage.
Yeah.
I just picture your mom going like, when she was done, your mom was like, this house is clean.
That's pretty much how it happened. Yeah, that's exactly what we were making fun of her about. And she's tiny too, so yeah.
Zelda Rubin-esque.
Yes.
Rubin. Zelda Rubin-esque.
Yeah.
I guess it's the term. That's another movie that I have an obsession. I have that movie memorized, and it's sad.
Really, that's a great movie.
And I realized today that I had Silence of the Lambs memorized in a way I
Classic.
should not have that
Yeah.
memorized. No, it's kind of weird. It's a
Yeah.
weird movie to have memorized. I
It
think.
is.
Yeah.
I used to be able to do that. I used to be able to memorize. I had Heathers memorized when I was 14.
Oh, did you
14 or
really?
15. I did, and I had Alice in Wonderland memorized.
The original
The
cartoon.
cartoon, yeah.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved Heather's. I think my favorite line is that. How come I drink my Sunday paper with my coffee?
Because you're an idiot.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I love that movie.
That's a great movie.
That's so weird. I loved Heather's. It was so weird and amazing.
I saw it once.
Yeah, I gotta go back and watch it again because it's so
Yeah.
just weird.
Yeah.
It's the weirdest
It
shit.
is, but it's awesome.
Yeah, but it's so fantastically awesome. And Alice in Wonderland.
I love that movie.
Do you like the remakes?
The remix?
Yeah, the remakes.
The remakes.
Yeah,
Did you like the Tim Burton?
I really don't. I didn't. I mean,
Oh, I
it's
miss
okay,
the fact that they don't have the Mad Hatter. That's what bothers me the most. That's the only time I'll ever do the Mad Hatter. That's sad. And I have more things memorized than I think I don't want
and
to.
they come back too, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
You know, you're in grown-up world, and then for some reason you get taken back,
Yeah.
and boom, it just comes right out. So weird.
Well, I think I used to have. Well, that's the way the Mad Hatter would talk, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Now let's not be silly.
I have weird movies memorized, like City Slickers, Godfather,
That's a good one.
Silence of the Lambs. And there's one more weird one. Oh, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
I love all the indie movies.
I could
It's
probably
so
do.
great.
Did you like Crystal Skull?
I did actually. I
Did
liked
you
all of
really?
them. I liked all of them.
Wow.
They're all awesome.
I did not like Crystal Skull. It made me
What?
cry.
Why don't people like that movie?
Well, I think it falls apart for me at the end. The beginning is super awesome. Like they have that set piece where in the first movie he puts away the Ark of the Covenant and it's like big warehouse, and so the beginning of that movie starts with that set piece in that warehouse, and that's really great. Like all these cool things are spilling out.
Yeah.
But I don't know. And then after that, I feel it just gets weird for me, and I can't get into it. Yeah, I think it's just I don't know. Like I miss Marcus Brody, and I miss.
That's actually, I think that's the first Indiana Jones movie I saw. Because I didn't see him growing up. I didn't.
Oh my
Oh, you
gosh.
didn't?
I know, yeah. Like, everybody's seen that movie except me.
How old are you?
I was born in 84.
Okay.
When you said 84, I was like, yeah, that's when I was born. But I didn't really see it. I mean, I knew of him, but I didn't see it. I'm not sure what I saw when I was little.
See, I was 22 when I saw
22?
Flight of the Navigator. And so the continuing perpetual joke about me being 99 continues, George, for every podcast.
I was obsessed with John Hughes movies.
John Hughes. I was
Who was?
I was just talking about career opportunities.
I
like
love
one of his,
career opportunities.
I was talking to my friends about it, but nobody saw it
You're
except me. I'm just like,
kidding.
oh,
I have
what?
the soundtrack.
Yeah, like I grew
Was
up.
there
That's
a great soundtrack?
that's when
It has
I.
an awesome soundtrack.
That's when I fell in love with Jennifer Connelly.
Yes.
And ever since then, I sort of like. I was thinking about it recently. Like I have a thing for like eyebrows, like on girls.
Furry eyebrows
Because
now?
because I've always had that, and I saw the trailer again because I was showing my friends.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, that's why, like that's why I'm like always kind of.
Hubie was his name, right? The
Interested.
character's name,
Was
Hubie?
it Hubie?
Was it Hubie or Huey or something
what
like
was
that?
it? I just saw it.
can't remember.
I saw it this morning. I don't know, but he came out in Pulp Fiction, right? That guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the guy that they...
I forgot.
I got a
Burger?
thing for well-endowed women in white wife beaters
Oh,
after
God.
seeing her skate-
Yeah.
after seeing her skating.
Oh my god! And the horse, that's.
Oh, yeah, when
yes,
she's riding on the
of
little...
course,
Yeah.
of course. That
That's
would be a
cool
great
movie.
photo too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my
Wait,
god.
you should just totally redo
That's,
movies.
that's already my favorite photo.
Fantastic idea.
That's why we were here.
I've always wanted to redo the
I
Silence
need-
of the Lambs one where he Texas Goods in.
Oh.
Cute Lazarus playing in the back.
Yes.
Wait, it would have to be reversed for a girl, wouldn't it? Or-
No.
Would that be? I don't know what that is.
She's like, well, first of all, she'd have to pull out a dick from somewhere. And we don't, nobody wants to see that.
That's true. You're right.
And then,
I like
That's the irony. Just say it's
do it.
provocative.
it's got to be reversed, right? You got to have to want it.
You gotta. All right. No, but I like the career opportunities for sure.
Oh yeah.
I think I've only seen it like once, but that's
I used to
the.
see it when I was little. Like it would always be on it. I would have watched it.
But that's my favorite thing about like those kind of things. Like that came from wish fulfillment, right? Like that was like the 13-year-old boy in him going like,
Yes.
"What if I got locked in a department store
isn't it-
With a hot
with my
chick.
favorite hot chick,
I think
and then she
all
had
of
to
them,
fall in love with you?"
all of
Wish
them are
fulfillment?
right. Like it's all about like love stories and stuff.
Yeah.
I think, but that one I guess for sure. Which one's your favorite John Hughes?
Oh my
movie?
gosh.
I always.
No, yeah, that's a great.
Which one's?
It's hard to choose. It's like Sophie's choice.
No,
Yeah.
it is.
because I have an older brother and sister, and they would all watch that all the time. The Breakfast Club was always on.
I can totally relate to Pretty in Pink
Pretty in
because that's
Pink.
how I felt all through high school. Like I thought I was pretty trendy and awesome, right? I was all into new wave and punk,
Right.
and people in my middle school and high school were not.
Oh yeah.
Meanwhile,
So I got
people
a
were
lot of-
telling you like,
Yeah.
don't hang out with her. She's poor.
Exactly. I was middle class, but still.
I love that. That's a real line in that movie. Don't
What is
hang
it?
out with her. She's
She's
poor.
poor.
Yeah, that's like the real line. Like it doesn't get any more evil
Yeah.
and better than that. Like, dude, you don't want to talk to her.
I
She's
love
poor.
the fact that she drove a pink Carbon Ghia in that movie, though. Like, that's just perfect. It couldn't have gotten any perfect than that.
You know the Carmen Ghia, right? The little red car that sits out in the parking lot at work. That's a Carmen Ghia.
Oh, but it's pink.
But it's pink.
How
Yeah,
cute
hers
is
is pink.
I
that?
don't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Yeah, that's red.
Yeah.
Also, the name of I don't remember, useless trivia, but it's the name of one of the characters on The Producers,
okay.
Mel Brooks' movie. The gay guy's name is Carmen Ghia.
Oh,
I'm
really?
sure,
That's
yeah,
hilarious.
just for that reason.
Yeah, probably.
But anyways,
Yeah, I heard somewhere, I think it was in another podcast, that, like John Hughes was kind of like in love with Molly. Ringwald
Yeah,
and
that he
stuff.
was all obsessed about
Yeah,
her.
he's upset, and she was like, he's an old man, and he's like a little teenager.
Yeah. Do you remember the movie she did? It went nowhere. Fresh Horses.
That's,
Fresh Horses?
Yes.
what
No,
is
I
that
can't
about?
say that I'm never familiar with.
Yeah, that was one of her. I think she was trying to deviate from her teeny bopper role, and she was trying to be kind of seductive and stuff, but it just went nowhere.
Yeah. So,
Fresh
is
Yeah.
it any good or?
It was not. It was her second Andrew McCarthy movie.
Okay.
Oh,
And,
really?
yeah, and she had longer hair because how typically she always had short
The short
hair,
little,
so
yeah.
it was longer, and she was kind of like the town slut or whatever. But she just didn't
Just
fit
because
that.
everybody knows her as.
Yeah, it just
Okay.
didn't work. So yeah, it went nowhere. But yeah, Google it. Fresh Horses.
Fresh Horse.
Yeah, now I have to see
Yes.
this. But it wasn't John Hughes.
I don't know if it was John Hughes actually.
But
have
I don't
no
think
idea.
so. But it was still her attempt to try to be.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and she failed miserably.
Yeah.
I'm
Unfortunately.
trying to think if I have a favorite John Hughes. I would have to say,
It was Weird Science. John Hughes. Was that
yeah,
so,
yeah,
yeah.
Weird Science.
That's one at my top.
Yeah, I think Weird Science would have to definitely be one
I
of mine.
remember the show. I didn't see the movie till way later.
Wyatt.
The show on USA.
Again,
It
that's
was on
wish
USA.
fulfillment. And again, the best line in that, my favorite wish fulfillment, I think that's where my crush, I think that's where my first crushes began. Was when she turns around and she was like, "You made me. You could have," and I was like,
Oh shit!
like my head, that's the part where my head exploded as a
Yes.
kid. I was like,
was like
Oh.
what?
but that's
Sure.
also now really male chauvinistically, right? Like, I'm a woman, you're a toy. Like, play with me
know.
however you want. And I'm
I'll
like,
do whatever
oh.
you want,
That's
Daddy.
Now that I think about it, that's also very creepy of me.
The 80s.
It is. Yes, thank you, George. It was also the 80s.
That's the 80s.
And also weird that I was 6 when that movie came out. And
6.
yeah, and already thinking about Kelly Lee Brock.
Wow.
He doesn't
She was
stand
hot.
for duty.
That's where Bill Paxton, right?
Yeah, he
Aw,
did
what
a
Bill
shame.
Paxton.
Yeah.
He was Chet.
I loved him in that movie. He was
Yeah,
great.
he was great.
He was such a great bully.
Yeah. Yeah. A Simple Plan. I like that movie a lot. He's in that. Have you guys seen that?
Yeah, Sam
Sam
Raimi.
haven't.
Raimi movie. It's really good.
Oh, you might like that. It's
Yeah.
it's not a horror movie, but it's
It's a guy
really
who makes horror
weird,
movies.
great suspense. Yeah, he makes good horror movies. Did you ever see? What was the Sam Raimi movie? I can't remember it. Drag Me to Hell.
That's my favorite.
I think I did. I think
Yeah,
I did.
that's really great. It's so great.
Yeah.
Drag Me to Hell. It's the one where she commits.
Good. Yeah.
She makes a deal with the. Not with
No.
the devil.
No. It's like a gypsy or something.
That's it.
And she was trying to. Either she worked at a bank or she was trying to get a loan. I forget. But a gypsy gets mad at her and basically because she curses her, right?
Awesome.
curses her.
Yeah.
It's not John Hughes.
No.
I haven't seen that.
No.
I have not.
All right.
It's so cool.
We
Yeah,
gotta
it's
send
so
you
fun.
links for Drag Me to Hell and.
The B movies.
It literally, it's literally the title. I mean, that's what the movie is. What is it? Drag
Me to Hell.
Drag Me to Hell. That's what it's about.
Oh wait, we could. That's a good. We could do a follow up. Like if you get a chance to see this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because now I'm
Maybe you'll get a
really curious.
picture idea.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
No. That
Definitely.
what's? Oh, you wanted to do the Silence of the Lambs. I forgot. We just talked about it for like 10 minutes.
Do you do like a lot of art projects, or is this like one of your?
No, this is one of the first things that I really wanted to do, because I'm all about the feminist perspective, but in the horror sense.
Yeah.
If that makes any
Yeah.
sense. Believe it or not, it's a thing.
They call it lipstick feminism, right?
Yes, it's a thing.
Yeah.
Like I said,
We were talking about. I'm sorry. We were talking
No,
about
go
like a podcast, that DVD. Yeah, like they would do a lot of stuff like that because
Right.
Asa here does porn, and they do like a lot of artsy stuff like that, and she talk a lot about similar things.
I think people are they want a certain image of a woman. They want to make her that, submissive.
I will do anything.
Yeah, and it's a little victimesque, if you ask me.
Yeah, no, it totally is. Yeah.
So I think when you get a woman that's comfortable in her sexuality and kind of a little too secure about it, hence the dancer, hence the dancer that is not a victim, hence the dancer that is, not the stereotype.
Yeah.
I think it creates not just, I don't want to say fear, but more of a, I don't know, it kind of makes me a target. You know what I mean? And you just get that backlash because people want to make you a victim.
Yeah.
And when you're saying like, but I'm not, I'm perfectly okay. It's like, no, you're not.
Right.
Well, the judge wants
you're
to go.
not.
The judgment certainly wants to get pointed right away, I would imagine.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, it's like that. Kind of. Well, I don't know. Maybe not at all. But I always think like that word hipster.
Yes.
I never like always. You kind of bring it up.
I do. I bring it up quite a bit.
I never understood it. To me, when I first started hearing it, I'm like, you just mean an asshole. Like you're talking an asshole, but you're putting like hipster.
Yeah.
Because when you say hipster, you're talking about an asshole, right?
Is that what that word is?
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
No. But I just because like the way they would describe it, like like this jerk who does this, he's real pretentious. I'm like, you're talking about just a jerk, like in general. Like, why not just call him a jerk?
Because you're saying that term gets brandied about.
Yeah, like
derogatory.
I've never understood it, like to where like whenever people say it, you mean it like in a bad way, right?
Usually it's thrown around in a derogatory sense, but
Really?
I guess.
And then when they say like this guy's a hipster, I'm like, but this guy's, I don't know.
I actually like that word.
Yeah, like I don't understand it for me.
Well, I first heard it from hipster doofus was from Seinfeld.
But some people
that's what they used to call Kramer. He's a hipster doofus. Yeah.
So some people like own it; they don't care. But I guess I always hear it in a negative way. And I'm just like, all right. I guess I never understood. Like, isn't that guy just a jerk if you're talking bad about him?
Like, he's just a schmuck. He's just a schmuck.
Yeah,
I know.
But I don't know. Does that make sense?
Words? Yeah.
Yeah, like, does that kind of...
I typically don't associate
they're labeled
that.
I guess what I meant
but
is
in
like
your
they're
term,
labeled...
The term.
Like, you look a certain way, that's what you are.
Yeah.
I guess that's what I was trying to get at, yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, I get a lot of really strange questions at my night job.
Yeah.
Like, what happened to you when you were young? Why are you here?
Yeah, that's going to be probably the most, right?
Yeah,
I would imagine.
I watched a lot of John Hughes movies. I blame John Hughes for my single life in my late 30s because I'm looking for that love, that John Hughes type of love.
Do you see that in like other girls or no? Like what are the other girls?
I think the problem is that people they don't take the time to understand the situation.
Yeah.
Every time I go to work, I don't sit there and think, these girls have issues that I don't.
Yeah.
No.
Sure.
The difference is because I get asked, how can I do this sober?
Yeah.
Well, a lot of, I would say 80% of exotic dancers have some type of sexual trauma. Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm lucky enough to not have that history. Okay. But that statement that I've received nightly about, basically that what's wrong with me to be able to not do it, drunk or whatnot, And I kind of sit back and I think, wow, am I the one with the problem? Because I can totally go to work, totally pumped about the night, with all the songs in my head that I choreographed, that I've got on my playlist, that I'm ready to, jump on that pole, and I'm excited to talk to people.
That's you do make your own, really?
Yeah. I literally take the time to listen to my shit, to take it to the gym and hear it 20 times till I get every single beat, so I can match it to every single pole move, and it makes me happy.
To me, that kind of sounds like that's like there's something artistic to that. Right?
I consider myself to be very artistic. Yes,
so that's something.
Yeah. So for me, I've found a way to make it a pleasurable experience. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's shitty people and stuff happens nightly, but for me, that's the way that I go in there. I go in there and basically I make it mine. Yeah. And a lot of times, if a girl goes in there and she's got to drink to do what she's got to do, or she's got to get drugged up to do what she's got to do. They're there for the wrong reasons. And I don't think it's anybody's right to sit there and judge them for being there, or to speak poorly about them. It's like, really, well, okay, that's like making fun of a fat person at the gym. Like, why would you do that? You know what I mean? If a person's trying to better themselves and that's the only way that they can at that time. But they never question, okay, well, why is this $1 billion business?
Why does it exist? That's exactly what I was going to say.
Why does my clientele consist of nothing but professionals? I don't dance for, teenagers, for people that work at Walmart. I mean, my clientele is, society's, deemed professionals and great people. You know what I mean? They're in there. They're going to see me. So.
But they never get questioned.
So I don't know.
They don't. The customer never gets questioned.
No,
That's
of course
certainly
not.
true.
Yeah, I was about to ask that, what kind of people go in there?
I think it just depends on what club you work at. I pretty much worked at every single one in the city, just to try them all out. But my home is where I'm at. Okay. The one that I'm at, it tends to be an older crowd. It tends to be a more professional crowd, truck drivers, things like that. Yeah. And maybe that's why I stayed there. Maybe that's why I like it so much, because they're consistent. Yeah. I like to build relationships with people. You know what I mean? I'm not the typical dancer hustler that just boom, 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 boom. Yeah. I would rather sit with somebody for hours and make money off of that one person that way than to be jumping around. It just works out best for me that way.
Wow,
well, what about the other females? Do you get along with them typically, per se, or?
I get along with everyone because I'm smart enough to know when to step out of the situation, when to shut the fuck up.
You know what? I know exactly what you mean. It's basically like that Tom Hanks line, where whatever gets me home at the end of the day.
There you
what
go.
does it say, Saving Private Ryan?
There you go.
It works.
Exactly.
It applies to work. It's like, if I just be friendly and it gets me home at the end of the day, I don't need to worry about anybody
else's
shit.
The only advice that I ever give, any new girls that come into that industry is, not that I've ever been to prison, but I've seen plenty of prison movies, and I always tell them the same thing. It's kind of like prison. You can't show weakness, so just keep your mouth closed, out of everybody's way. But if somebody starts to bully you, then boom, you've got to instantly let them know that you're not the one. Otherwise you're going to be the target, and that's typically what happens, unfortunately.
Man.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's like prison.
Can I, if I can just be so bold, what's the weirdest thing somebody's ever asked or requested, if I can ask?
The weirdest thing, believe it or not, I've heard really, really weird, in a grotesque kind of way, stories from other girls. But for me, the weirdest thing, I used to have this gentleman come in from out of town. And he would come in every few months. He was a very, very wealthy man, and he never asked for anything sexual. He wanted to comb my hair.
What?
He wanted to comb my hair. So he would bring his own brush. He would bring his own brush, and I shit you not, for about an hour, he would comb my hair. He would braid it, he would unbraid it, he would recomb it.
And you would get paid for that.
And I would get paid for that.
Really?
Yes,
I
would.
Like the standard, I don't know what the standard.
He would give me $400.
Does he do a good job?
Yeah, I mean,
that's your takeaway
just
from
to
this.
comb my hair.
Did he do a good job? I feel like when I left, it was really well combed. I feel like he conditioned it.
I had
it
really
was
nice
creamy.
hair, yeah. So, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I appreciated that. You know, I never stood there or I never sat there in silence thinking, what a weirdo. Like, no, not at all.
No, you can't.
Not at all.
Right, you can't.
Yeah,
I appreciated that he appreciated my time. And who the hell doesn't want their hair combed? Come on, man.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
I've met a lot of, I mean, like I said, 19 years
Yeah.
in that place. I've met a lot of very interesting people, and I've made a lot of really great friends. And it's unfortunate that people view it the way that it is, because for me, it was a great stepping stone. I mean, it paid for 2 bachelor's degrees. It, you know, it's allowing me to fund my life as I'm going through grad school. It bought me a home. It bought me a car. You know what I mean? So...
Would you say that you are the exception, maybe, or would you say that there are other people? Because we hear that story where people say, "Oh, I pay." Not to hark on this whole subject. This entire time, we'll grab another beer and then we'll move on. But just like, is it? You feel like maybe you are the exception, or do you? Because I hear that story where girls say, "Oh, I'm doing this to pay for school and so on."
Yeah.
But then I'm like,
I think
you
that's
don't,
becoming more common. That story, you know. I think it's. I don't know. I think I'm hearing that
believe
more.
Believe it or not, I don't know.
Recently,
I don't know, because I really don't pay attention to what other girls
Try to keep yourself
have told
and
or
not-
whatever.
yeah.
All I know is what it's done for me, and like I said, a lot of
Maybe
people
you can talk about it.
have intervened in my life, and these friendships that I've built throughout, because it starts off as a customer, but then it goes on to something different. And then now, I mean, I have guys that I've known for 15 years that no longer get dances, but they became really good friends. So,
Well, I always think it's funny. It's women that tend to get more wild at those places. Like when it's like when it's a guy store, like the girls are like, yeah, spanking the ass, and like pulling on the pants and like batting around the penis like it's a cat toy.
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean? Like that's how women behave. But like
I
a
feel
guy,
sorry for guy strippers.
like guys like go up to the girls and they like throw money at them.
Yeah.
And they like run away. Like, did you see me? Well, I'm like, it's so weird.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
At least some are. Some are not. Some are.
Some are crazy. Some are crazy.
Yeah, to say the least. But
I enjoy it though. I really do. And what I enjoy about it, besides the performance part, I love music and I love to dance.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
and I get to play dress up every night. You know what I mean? So that's great. But what I like the most is I'm a people watcher. And that is a perfect place.
Yeah.
Like, I am entertained from the moment I
Actually,
walk
yeah.
in.
Anytime,
no kidding.
anytime I go to a strip club,
It's
I
fantastic, yes.
people
it's your own
watch.
personal Venice Beach.
Yes, it's great.
When I go to bars, I just kind of watch them. Sometimes I make up stories for them.
Yeah.
You do the
Yeah.
Wonder
Yeah.
Boys thing, where you stare at people.
Yeah.
Well, has there ever been a movie that's been equally representative of your experience?
I watch a lot of stripper movies, obviously, because I can relate to them or whatnot.
Are there a lot of stripper movies?
There is, believe it or not. Did you ever see, I think it's Blue Iguana with
That's
Daryl
what I was
Hannah?
gonna bring up.
With the
was
Zalman
so
King.
cheesy.
Yeah, it's like an independent movie, right?
Yeah.
It's a Zalman King picture, right?
I don't know.
Sure, he's
When
the
did
guy
that
that
came
did
out?
Red Shoe Diaries. It's the one with... No, Blue Iguana.
I don't know.
Who's in it?
Daryl Hannah.
Jennifer Tilly, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the girl from
But
that doctor show, what was it? What's that doctor show?
Dr. Shit.
That everybody watches.
Oh
but
yeah,
I've never
that
seen.
girl. She's the Asian lady, right? That's her. I don't know her name.
Sandra Oh.
Yes,
Yeah, that girl.
there you go.
Yeah, that is the one I'm thinking about then.
Yeah.
Might be.
Yeah, and it's just like an everyday kind
Yeah,
of.
so movies like that, like striptease, like showgirls, like even zombie strippers. I mean, seriously, like any movie that I've seen that
Have some aspects of truth to it.
there's a character or two that is real. That girl, that Daryl Hannah character, she's in every strip club I've ever gone to. That poor, sad girl that's stunted at 8 years old, but she's a whole beautiful woman, and it's creepy, but she's like,
Yeah.
That's a real character, you know what I mean?
So they're based off.
Oh, yeah.
kinda like-
So
okay.
they've got the characters right.
Yeah.
As far as the situation, I would say the closest movie to real life that I've ever seen is The Players Club.
Players
Yeah,
Club.
Players Club. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was gonna say.
What's that one?
That one's pretty brutal, and that's the one that I think is more real life.
What is that? Who was that with?
What's his name? That funny guy?
Bill Bellamy, someone like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it came
Jamie
out in the
Foxx.
90s?
Jamie Foxx.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that comedian. Oh, I can't remember his name.
Jeez, if only there was some way we could connect to the
that's
whole
right.
wide world in this
Yeah.
fast
gonna bring up-
moment. Yeah.
Starts
Um,
with a B.
Did you ever see The Wrestler?
I love that movie.
Yeah?
That's a great movie.
Oh,
yeah.
that's right.
that-
And
yeah.
Marissa Tomei
Yeah,
was,
exactly.
Yeah.
Like I said,
So you have
there's-
like customers like that, maybe?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's a
Oh
great
yeah,
movie.
I related to that one a lot too.
Really?
That was a pretty good.
Yeah,
I want to see that again. Super sad though.
yeah. But a lot of these, I mean, they have the right idea. Adding the glamour along with the not so glamorous part of it, all that good
Right.
stuff. Yeah.
So,
Bernie Mac.
Bernie
is,
Mac.
is there movies that don't get it right?
Oh yeah. The zombie stripper, the cannibal.
No, they get it right.
Yeah, no. You're
That was on the money.
You're like, it is more on the money
Yeah.
than anything else.
That was on the money. No, actually, I don't think I've ever seen a
right?
stripper movie that I would say, oh my gosh, that's so ridiculously off the wall.
So what
Even
is-
Showgirls was on,
Yeah.
on point.
Yeah.
Although
Showgirls?
we don't go around licking stripper poles because we know better. We know what's on that stripper pole.
Although I'm sure there are some people that would pay money to stick a stripper.
yes.
So then that stereotype doesn't necessarily come from movies, then, right? Or, I guess
I
maybe.
don't think so. Not at all.
Just some people that
That comes
don't
from.
get it.
That
like,
comes from.
see the
I'm going to say it comes from other women.
I agree.
maybe.
Yeah, because it's judgmental and it's tough to understand.
Yeah.
Right.
Another?
Yes, please.
What is it?
Pineapple something.
George?
Yeah, I'll take one.
Are we pausing?
I'll keep it going. I'll keep it rolling.
Soft pause. What does that mean?
Yeah. I'll cut it out if we need to.
Oh, okay.
So I usually end up doing like two.
Oh,
They're
okay.
like 30 minutes long.
Oh,
And
okay.
then they're not necessarily released right away. Sometimes
Okay.
maybe like a few months.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, have you ever done anything like this?
I haven't. No.
No. What do you think so far? I'm not.
I think it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like a typical type of thing. I just have the recording and just the conversation. That's all.
No, actually that's a great idea.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. That's
I often wish I had one of these in the dressing room.
cool. You should. That'd be a good. That'd be a good
Yes,
podcast.
It would. Sometimes
Is
I
that
sit back
excessive?
there. Seriously, sometimes I sit back there and I think, if people only knew how intelligent and how
That'd be
funny
good, yeah,
these
yeah.
women are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like,
You should do it.
I swear, my Fridays and Saturdays are fun.
Yeah.
I've been in school and in my other job, in real world all week long. Then by the
Right.
time the weekend rolls around and I
Yeah.
go to that place, it's
Yeah.
like it's a joy.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's cool.
It is.
That's cool. What are you going to school for, or what are you getting here?
I want to be a therapist.
A
I
therapist.
like that. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So for
Wow.
me, yeah, and believe it or not, when I first started graduate school, one of my first classes was a clinical class that they were teaching us how to ask, open-ended questions, how
Right.
to get a person to talk to us, things like that,
Okay.
and so what I used to do is I used to go to my club at night and I used to practice
Oh, yeah.
on customers, and
Okay.
it would work.
Yeah.
I would basically ask them, the open-ended questions,
Yeah.
and they would respond right away.
Really?
So all my clinical practice, I would take
Yeah.
it to the club at night.
Yeah.
And then during the day when I was at school and I had to do the role play with my classmates, I was never shy. I was never afraid. I was
Right.
not that way. And I attribute being a dancer to that. You know what I mean?
That's
When
really
I give
cool.
when I give
sounds awesome.
presentations,
Yeah,
when
yeah.
I don't have that shyness or that fear.
Wow.
I mean, I get naked in front of a bunch of strangers,
Yeah.
so trust me, I don't.
And so, like the other classmates, do you get kind of shy or what?
Well, I mean, I would say most people are afraid to
Yeah.
talk publicly, right?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
and then and then the role playing can be difficult when you're not used to striking up a conversation
Yeah.
with a stranger.
Yeah.
I've been doing it for 19 years.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know how to strike up a conversation with a
Right.
stranger. Granted, it's going to be fake because I probably don't really want to know anything about you,
But you can do it.
but I can do it, and that's what's important is that I show that I can do it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So.
Wow. Have you
Yeah.
ever thought about opening up like a hybrid thing where it's
I already do that. I have this meme.
it could be your own business.
I know, right? I have
Your
this
own
funny
thing.
meme where
Yeah.
it says stripper, what my friends think I do, what my family
Oh,
thinks I
yeah.
do, what I think I do, and then it has a showgirl, and then it says what I really do, and it's basically a therapist with some guy laying on a couch, and that's literally what I've done. So
Wow.
I think I deserve an honorary PhD, in my opinion. But
Have you like helped any customer in that way?
I believe so because
Yeah.
I mean, I can sit here and say, that obviously I've been trained to be, obviously I manipulate. Obviously I'm, it's a show. It's a fantasy. I know how to work the crowd, things like that.
Yeah.
But with all sincerity, there does have to come an innate genuineness, sincerity, empathetic quality about you to be able to portray that.
Right.
Unless you're just completely, 100% psychopath where you literally can have that charisma with no emotion attached to it.
Yeah.
But with me, it's genuine.
Yeah.
So I may not truly care about you. You're a stranger walking into my club. But if I sit down with you and I'm with you for an hour, and I know there's going to be a payment at the end of that hour, then of course I'm going to sit there and genuinely listen and offer my opinion if you ask, my thoughts, and I hope that at that time, most guys that go in there, they typically want to talk a little before they go and get dances or whatnot, and I think most of them appreciate it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll get the guys that are like, we're not here to listen to you, just dance, just dance. And I appreciate that too, because that's what I'm there for. So either way, I'm okay. Just pay me.
Wait, I have my final. I have my question about it.
Yes.
That I thought of.
Thanks.
So my real question is this then. So you mean to tell me you don't really like me?
He just missed the last 2 minutes of the
Did I?
conversation where I was explaining to him.
Did you ask the same thing?
He didn't ask, but I got there.
Oh, damn.
No.
I was so proud of myself. I was like, wait, like I literally cut my stream short, and I had to that's a brilliant joke.
That's one of the hardest things that in my personal life that I've got to that I struggle with basically is when a person knows what I do and they want to know if it's the real me they're talking to or if it's the fake me that they're talking to.
Is there a fake you? Do you have a
Oh, yeah, of
Yes, of course.
I have to.
Like me when I go to Denny's. There's a fake. Let's face it, who are we kidding? I don't want to be at Denny's.
Yes, of course. Definitely.
I have to pretend that I want to be there, and so I have to be nice. Yeah, all right,
exactly.
that sounds fair.
Yeah, of course. I always tell people, look, you like Jade. Jade is sexy. Jade is provocative. Jade is seductive. Jade likes you. Jade thinks everything you say is fucking hilarious. But the moment Kimberly comes out, beware.
Yeah.
You make Kimberly come out, then you fucked up. So you don't want Kimberly. No. But then on the outside, in my personal life, I tell them the opposite. You don't want Jade to come out. You want Kimberly in all her annoyance and her, all her.
You want her to be there in her well-brushed hair.
Right. You want the Kimberly there. Jade is not real.
Have you ever thought about writing a book? If you
My
really
mom
do
tells
wanna?
me that I should.
Well, that's all Diablo Cody.
Because you're saying, like you want to break that stereotype. That's the way to do it, right?
But I think that's kind of like why I'm starting this whole little photo series that I'm doing. Is because I want. Every time I go to work, right, I get these guys that tip me, and of course I'm in a bikini and I'm glamored out. And they tell me that I'm beautiful and my body this and oh my god, let me do this and that for you. And in my head, the first thing that pops up is you have no idea what I'm really like. And I'm sure the moment my real personality seeps through, the offer's off the table, right? And that's where that photo series kind of started, where I wanted to show off oh my god, she's beautiful and she's sexy, but then let's add the realness to her.
And that's what you said it earlier, and I wanted to ask this because it always amazes me.
Yes.
And I get, because I always feel I think I'm the only person on the planet that has self-esteem issues, but it always amazes me when so you do what you do for a living because you know that there's some part of you that's at least attractive to men.
Yes, of course.
But you still have insecurities. You still have these.
Of course,
that's so
definitely.
weird.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Well, I think that
I know, but when I
product.
hear pretty people go I have insecurity, and I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Maybe
Go fuck yourself. I mean, I know that of course you can have insecurities.
It's like maybe I don't know.
I'm a product, okay? I'm a product. I know what sells. So I know that if I'm fit, if I have long hair, if I do my makeup like a porn star, if I'm, over embellished everywhere, I know that that's what people want to see. That sells. I've learned that in the last 19 years. I've made money on my looks. So, I can sit here and say that without really feeling like I'm being arrogant, because I'm not. I'm being more of a businesswoman. I pay attention to what men like, because that's the product that I'm selling. But then in my real life, the insecurities come with, well, you know, this is the outside product. You know, the inside product, you know, she has self-doubt. You know, she wants a loving, healthy relationship where guys don't constantly think she's lying or manipulating because she's a dancer. You know, she gets cheated on left and right because guys can't handle the fact that she does what she does, so they want to, you know, pay her back, or, you know what I mean? There's a lot of things that I go through because of it. So,
do you think that's what it is, or do you think that? Well, I was going to say, do you think that some guys cheat because, like, you know, they're like, oh, I've got this like pretty girl, like I can get other pretty girls. Like, do you think, like, you know what I mean? But does it become like an ego boost for them?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I've been trying to figure that out for years.
Because we see that in movies all the time, where the guy gets all this new confidence. You build somebody's confidence
Like
by doing it.
Like
and then
what movie?
we were just talking about it today. Where
'Cause it's also
did you ever see Love?
The show?
Yes.
Love.
I was just watching.
Did you see that show, Love, with Jillian Jacobs?
I
and
was
the guy?
watching the beginning of the first
No.
episode.
Well, I don't want to ruin anything, but he basically gets confidence and starts to ignore because he has this new confidence. But that's part of the show, and that's clearly meant to be in there for that reason. And you see that in other films, and you see that in real life too, where, like, you know, like the guy gets this newfound confidence. So you wonder, does that come from that?
I don't know, but I've decided that it was really, I can't really expect to find a healthy relationship as a dancer, because I know that I can go in there and it's a job for me, and I know that because of all the superficiality that I have going on a nightly basis, I want something real in my life. Therefore, I'm going to be faithful. Therefore, I'm going to be that girl that wants that one guy in her life. And I want to be able to express my insecurities and who I really am to that one person without fear of what they're going to think. But I can't expect that person to be welcoming to all that stuff, knowing where I go at night. And that was one of the hardest things that I had to realize. But I think with that, it had to come with age, because I didn't realize that until the last couple of years. I'm 39 years old, so I didn't get it until I was like 37. So now I'm comfortable being single because of that, because I know that I have priorities and I have goals that I need to reach first, and I can't expect to carry a relationship while I'm doing that. So
Well, you have to prioritize too.
Yeah.
Are you doing the bachelor's and that master's simultaneous program in the But there is something like that, right? In the
I don't know.
where you do it you do it essentially back to back, though, right? To get your
Well, I
social work
have a bachelor's in psychology, a bachelor's in criminal justice, and this is going to be my master's in social work.
and social work.
Right. So yeah.
Cool.
What about movies about therapists?
I love movies about therapists because they make them all seem crazy, and it's true.
Yeah.
They're like, why do you want to be a therapist? Because you're
Yeah.
trying to figure yourself out. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe.
Yeah, I guess that's why they do it. Right?
I
Maybe?
just feel that I have a knack for it, and I've had the
Yeah.
last 20 years to show me that
Yeah.
I have a knack for it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I'm interested. I'm curious.
Yeah.
I'm, like I said earlier, I'm genuinely empathetic. I really care.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that helps.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think I have a whole new view on life in general because of grad school. I owe graduate school my life, to be honest with you, because if it wouldn't have been for graduate school, oh my gosh, the fact that I got accepted to graduate school, it got me out of a toxic, abusive relationship. It got me into a path of where I want to be. It motivated me. It gave me just a boost of confidence to know that I can do things, you know. It empowered me. And then not only that, but the internships that I got, the first one, I was giving counseling to inmates. The second one, this one, I'm giving counseling to addicts, substance abuse, things
What
like
is
that.
that? Calcium?
Counseling?
Oh.
You're like,
I
calcium?
thought calcium.
Counseling.
You're like, here's your
Sorry.
milk.
Yeah, but
sorry.
dealing with these
Counseling.
populations,
Yeah. Right. Okay.
I get to hear their stories.
So it's
And
is
these
it
people
male
have-
inmates?
Yes, and
Wow,
females.
those. Can I just the
But-
comedian me is like, Poor fucking inmate.
And I would get that a lot. I would get that a lot.
Like you.
I would get that a lot. But honestly, the way that I saw things is, you know what? If they're in prison, right, and they're facing like 50 fucking years, and the joy of their week is an hour with the counselor, then if you don't even hear a word that I say, if I bring you happiness just with the mere fact of looking at me through that glass, then I did my job. You know what I mean? Then that's fine. Then that's okay.
I'd be like, I want to kill myself. I'm going to kill myself. I tried it 4 times this afternoon. I did it 6 times. 6 times already. Tried to kill myself 7 times. I need a day with her. I need to just,
what I'm trying to say, though, is that it humbles you. It humbles you because you hear stories that are unbelievably tragic.
So they tell you, like, they're genuine and stuff.
And then you start to realize that, you sit there and you want to be a little, throw yourself a little pity party for the dumbest shit. And you're like, dude, your life is good. Like, snap out of it. And it really helps.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and little things that normally make people blow up or whatever, or would even make me blow up in the past. I'm much more patient now. I'm much more passive because I just realize that it's not worth it.
That does come with age.
Oh, yeah.
That does come with age.
So
that's really cool.
You become long fused
Order.
There's long fused that are
Calcium?
Yeah. You become calcium.
This has been a Beacon Claws production. For more information, visit patreon.com/BEAKANDCLAWS. There's some good stuff there.